What up, guys? This is the kid DZD, aka the Drink Kang, live from the Dungeon Palace Studios. Once again, yes, I am back in the studio cooking up for you guys. I am so happy to be back in the lab. It's been a while since I dropped a video. Sorry for that, guys, but I have been taking care of a lot of business that needed to be caught up on, needed to be taken care of. I've been in partnership with a few other companies. Due to the success of the channel, a few companies have hit me up, so a few things are coming in the works for you guys, so just stay tuned for that. I don't want to talk too much about it, but just stay tuned for that. So all of this stuff has been happening. Now I'm back in the lab and I am ready to start cooking up. So I haven't done a video like this for you guys in a while, to where we just do an on-the-spot session. We cook up something, we make something happen. But while we're doing it, I'm going to take you guys through 3 tips that help me out whenever I'm putting a track together. There are a few things that you can keep in mind whenever you're getting a track together, whenever you're first starting a track, whenever you're first starting melodies, whenever you're first starting drums. You get a few things in order first before you do that, and it makes your beat making process go by very smoothly, and it also gets you started on a good vibe. So that's what I'm gonna take you through. 3 tips to where what I do to start my beats off and how I get everything running very, very quickly. Now, the first tip that I'm gonna give you guys is just very, very simple, which most of these tips are. It's very simple, and that's the tempo. One thing that gets me going on a track is when I pick a tempo, I like to ask myself first, what do I want this track to make me do? So for instance, if I want this track to make me just do a little 2-step back and forth, then I'm gonna pick something with a nice little tempo that brings me back and forth. You know, something that gives me that kind of vibe, just back and forth. If I want this track to get me to bounce, then I'm gonna pick something up tempo, something that I can get a nice little bounce going to. Now, this particular track that we're about to create, I feel like getting it turned up in the studio, so I want a nice little bounce. I want a nice little groove. So let's tap out a tempo that does that. See, that's the tempo right there. And what we landed on is 163.49. So we can go ahead on and round that up to, let's say, 165. That'll give us that bounce. Now let's turn on our metronome and see if that's where we at. See, that's the bounce we want. That's exactly the bounce we want. We want it to give us like a little vibe. So that's the first thing. Ask yourself, what do you want the track to make you do? And that'll give you your set tempo as to how you want the track to go. The next tip that I have is knowing your sounds in your scales. And notice what I said, not knowing your scales. It's a beautiful thing if you know music theory, but if you can't do that, then one of the things that you can do is you can learn the sounds in a scale. For instance, when you put the MPC in pad perform mode, once you pick the scale, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever you want to pick, then underneath that, there's the type of scale that you have. That's the names. You can put it in natural minor, you can put it in major, you can put it in all of those different type of scales. So just knowing the sounds of those scales will give you a good idea of how you want your beat to go. For instance, we all know that the minor scale gives you a more chill type feel, whereas the major scales give you a nice happy type vibe. Pretty much everybody knows that about music production and music in general. But those other scales, kind of like, for instance, I have it in the aeolian scale. I know that the aeolian scale has a few very dark and grim notes that are in it. I have it in F, so I'm going to show you what I mean. It has the F key, but if you notice, it has these type of notes in it as well. You know, so that instantly gives you almost that very, very dark, grim type feel, you know, and knowing those notes in a scale, knowing those sounds in a scale will give you a good idea as to how you want your beat to go. So that's the second tip. You don't have to exactly know the whole entire scale, music theory, the whole entire thing. If you guys don't know that, don't sweat it. Just start to get familiar with the sounds that are in your scales. That way you can kind of get a good idea as to what direction you want your beat to go in. So let's drop a little melody here with the aeolian scale. Let's do that. And then we're gonna try and give it a little different feel. So let's do it. All right, now we're gonna put that up an octave, and we're going to go up 1 octave with the rest of the scale. See how we did this here? This is what we did first. Now we're going to take this and go up 1 octave here and put the same notes in, but just a higher octave. All right, the next thing I want to show you has to do with the chords. Whenever I drop my chords underneath my melody, this is just a little something that I do to kind of spice up my chords a little bit. The MPC already gives you the chords inside of the MPC. Whenever you put it in chord mode, it'll give you the chords. So right now I have this dreamy little piano that's pulled up in the Electra X preset right here, the tribute keys preset. So this is the way that sounds. But when I put it in chords, it sounds like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the chord. I'm going to lay the chords down on the track, and then I'm going to show you the small tip that I use. All right, now you see how we, in tip number 1, we had our melody and we knew our sound in it, in the aeolian scale. We wanted to get that grim feel. If you notice, when I laid the chords down, it gave me a bright feel. I still want to go with that grim feel. So what I'll do is, this is the trick. What I'll do is I'll take these top notes here by holding shift and just highlight them in the chords. And what I'll do is I'll transpose the notes down by holding shift and then hit the down arrow. And let's see how that sounds. Do you see how it instantly gave it a dark feel? Instantly. Let me put these back up, just these first 2, and I'll show you. Hit shift and the up arrow, let's bring them back up. Watch the bright feel it gives me. Okay, now let's do it again. Instantly a dark feel. So that's just another tip for you guys. Don't be afraid to mess with the chords, transpose the notes. Sometimes you may want to take the bottom notes and bring them up to give it a brighter feel. For this, we took the top notes, bottom down, gave it a darker feel, and it matches with the melody. All right, now that we got the feel of how we want our track to go, let's go back to track 1 and let's start dropping some drums. See, now we're up and running. We have everything going. We have the track moving in the direction that we want it to go in. We're not sitting down wondering what we're trying to do or the feel we're trying to get. Because when you're in front of artists and you're trying to get that type of feel, then it kind of throws their vibe off as well. So if you know where you want the track to go, you know exactly what you want it to do. You use those tips, those 3 tips, and you're already on drums and you got the track flowing how you want it to flow. So let's go on and lay down some quick drums. Let's put our snare in. Let's go on and drop some hi-hats. drop the 808 on the track. Let's do it. This is the direction of our track. Track is already moving. It's pretty much already done. All we got to do is add a nice little weird sound in it, something to give it a nice little flair, and the track is done. You know, so let's go on and do that. There is the track, nice, done. And just from those 3 simple tips, we got a track rocking very quickly. Everything is running smooth. And you can add more to it. You can mess with it with some effects, anything you want to do. But we got a track running very, very quickly, very, very smoothly. And everything is all good. So there you have it, guys. Just some small tips for you guys. I hope you guys can get something from this. If you do, make sure you smash that like button and also drop me a comment below. Let me know you guys' feedback. That's what I really appreciate about this channel. All of the feedback that you guys give, it's absolutely amazing. Nothing makes me feel better after I create videos to hear you guys' feedback and what you think, and also some of you guys' tips that you use as well. If you have any questions, make sure you drop them below as well, along with your feedback. That is really much appreciated. This is the kid DZD, aka the Drink Kang Purple World Entertainment, live from the Dungeon Palace Studios, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.